What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. Super excited about this video. If you're new to us
and we're new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, all right? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Let's get it.
So here are 7 everyday differences that surprised me in America.
What's up?
In Germany and a lot of other countries in the world, hardly anyone still uses text messages to communicate with others. The messaging app WhatsApp started blowing up in 2011 and has pretty much replaced text messages since then, at least in Germany. We don't even use the word SMS anymore, which is what we used to call regular text messages in our everyday language. We just say, I'll message you or I'll send you a WhatsApp. And that WhatsApp wasn't really a thing in the US absolutely surprised me when I first got here. A lot of people that I mentioned it to hadn't even heard of the app before. And ever since then, I've been asking myself, why? I mean, you would think that it's just as big in the US as it is worldwide, especially since it's an American company and was bought by Facebook in 2014. WhatsApp has one...
See, that's what's interesting. Because it's always been on our phones, but we just never use it.
Yeah.
We don't know what that's for. We don't use that. Because our supporters were wanting to make a group for us. And we're like, okay, so if we get on there, will everybody know our number?
I use it, but I forgot how it works. Cause
I've tried to use it to try to set up a group.
Yeah.
But
it's almost, I don't know, I don't want to misstate anything, but I think it's like Snapchat, just about like, I forgot how it works. I really did though.
Why don't y'all text from your phone, the actual phone?
Yeah, why don't y'all?
Interesting.
0.5 billion users in over 180 countries, but the US market is really small compared to the rest of the world. Less than 10% of all Americans use it. In Germany, it's 65%, for example.
Okay.
My best guess is just that the need for a messaging app wasn't and isn't as big here as it is in other parts of the world, because a lot of people in the US use iPhones and therefore can use iMessage, which also works via the internet, and is pretty much just a little built-in messaging app with Apple. In fact...
See, but a lot of people... Okay, so the divide is Android and iPhones.
I hear it is, at least.
Yes, I actually love my Android. I just switched over to iPhone like a couple months ago. I still prefer Android. But anyway, it's on our phone. So y'all got to help us understand. Y'all cell phone don't come with a messaging. You'll have to download the app to have a messaging. Because, like, text messages comes with our phone. And I'm thinking back to, like, my first cell phone. We've always had text messaging on the phone.
Right.
And that's before flip phone. That's when everybody didn't have a flip phone.
I don't know.
The little egg-looking phones.
I thought we all had, like, the same type of phone.
I did, too. But I mean, the way this is sounding is like everybody use an app in other places.
Well,
according to a statistic from March 2019, 47% of all Americans use an iPhone, so almost half the population, whereas in Germany it's only 21%. So maybe this has to do with the amount of Android users in Germany and in other countries. The result of this is that text messages have pretty much died out in Germany, and only 9 billion text messages have been sent throughout the entire year of 2018 in Germany, whereas in America, 6 billion text messages are sent in one day alone. And this is the reason why when my Samsung broke last year, I decided to get an iPhone instead, even though I'm not the biggest fan of iPhones, but I just knew that it would make my life a lot easier in the US with the whole iMessage situation. But as someone who used to only use WhatsApp for years, I personally think that iMessage doesn't even get close to what WhatsApp offers you. The picture quality is a lot lower than when you send pictures via WhatsApp, the sound quality of voice messages is lower, and it's just not as practical. On WhatsApp, you really have all of your conversations in one place, one-on-one conversations as well as group messages. In the US, a lot of people do have group conversations on iMessage, but this only works if everyone in the group has an iPhone. Since not everybody does, a lot of people here use separate apps when it comes to group messaging, such as GroupMe or just Facebook Messenger. To me, that just seems a little unpractical.
Okay, so that's why I'm trying to understand exactly what she's saying. I'm understanding most of it, but when it comes, like I just switched to iPhone. I never had a problem, even when I would be added to groups with iPhones, it would send a message like regular. So I'm not understanding what
So we have group messages in iPhones on Androids.
Yeah.
But the thing with WhatsApp, which is, and you said it does come with our phone, but I don't know.
Is it like a social media?
It's definitely like a social media. Because I only remember using it because of a guy that I was networking with at one point, and I didn't hone down on it and say I'm about to just be on this thing all day. It's like I just didn't have no need to it because again we have messages.
Yeah, like
we send
it's
texts
with the phone. It's not an app.
I don't know.
Yeah, like iMessage, you can look at your text messages and create text messages from a computer or iPad, but it's on the phone.
We're gonna have to use it for 24 hours just to see what happens.
Okay, let's see.
Especially since there's a way to have it all in one place with better quality too. On WhatsApp you also have a video and an audio call option included, which is the number one way for me to communicate with my friends and family in Germany, to be honest. And I'm not being paid by WhatsApp, by the way. This is just one of the things in America that absolutely...
That's the difference with WhatsApp. It's more universal. So anybody who have a WhatsApp account, no matter where they're at in the world, you can communicate with them.
Okay, yeah.
In any form. You don't need a FaceTime app, you know what I'm saying? Because with iPhone you have FaceTime, with Android you don't.
You can only FaceTime Android to Android.
That's what I'm saying. So with WhatsApp, it's more universal. You can do it anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
It baffled me.
Emojis.
This one is somewhat related to the whole WhatsApp and texting topic. Americans use a lot less emojis than Germans and people from some other countries do. I mean, texting can be tricky no matter what country you're from, but in Germany it's very common to use a lot of smiley faces and emojis while texting, just to set the tone and kind of make clear what kind of connotation your message has.
I wonder if that's because of what you heard in Germany, because last time we heard that you guys are like real straightforward, you know what I'm saying? It's like chill vibes, but then the text messages y'all turn up. That's interesting. That's funny to me.
I use emojis in every conversation.
Yeah, you really do.
I like my emojis. LOL, and I still type LOL.
Yeah, it's like...
So we often add smiley faces, even if it's just an objective message, just to make clear that this is meant in a friendly way. And if you don't do that, it often means that something is wrong or it's just considered not as friendly. In the US, the majority of people that I text with or have texted with doesn't really use emojis or smiley faces. Instead, a lot of old-fashioned abbreviations like LOL or LMAO seem to be a little more common. So when I first got here, it took me a while to get used to this, and also I was often worried that people were annoyed with me because they didn't send smiley faces with their messages. And since Americans are generally really friendly and polite people, I totally would have thought that they would use just as many or maybe even more emojis than we do. But maybe that's even part of the reason for this difference, that Americans don't really need to use smiley faces because they usually mean everything in a friendly way anyways, usually at least, whereas Germans often talk in a more serious way with each other, so maybe we need to make this a little bit more clear that something is meant in a friendly way. And maybe
that's what I was going to go with, like when she said we kind of make everything seem like it's more friendlier. With the emojis, you don't got to guess whether this person having a good day or not. But then again, you have people who are real emoji texters, and then you have those who just send straight like sentences. And you got to read with the intent to understand, even though you just send a smiley face with them, and then they send a sentence back, and you're just like, did you vibe with me or not? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the energy like? So it's just energy check with emojis.
Yeah, but she haven't been on, like, the messy side of social media in the United States. Because, baby, they hold down that button on that emoji. Whole paragraphs full of mean faces.
They be talking about it.
Also has to do with the whole WhatsApp situation, because WhatsApp just has a lot of emojis within the app.
Checks and payments.
I talked about this
Let's
one
get it
a
right
little
now.
bit more in depth in my video on money and payments, which I'll link to in the info box.
We
But
gotta
before
talk about this. Because I don't know what she... Hold up. We gotta talk about this. Y'all see that?
Oh yeah, we got
Y'all
emojis
can see
sitting.
it.
Like we got a whole bunch of emojis.
That's emojis. All of that is emoji.
Hey,
We got
go ahead,
all
put it in the
type of
comments
animals.
if you like an emoji text or not, because we do got like a whole bunch of those.
That's emojis.
We seen our live chats when we be going live on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah, people in there with the emojis and stuff. Y'all be turning up with y'all emojis.
I came to the US, I had no clue that checks were still a thing. I had literally never seen a check before in my entire life. Most
that's
things work
old-fashioned.
via online banking in Germany, which is
think
really
it's
fast and safe. You just log into your online bank account, type in the international bank account number of the account that you want to transfer money to, then you enter the amount, of course, and then you get a so-called TAN number to your previously authorized device via an app or a text message. So yes, this would be one of the rare cases where I would actually get a text message in Germany. Then you enter the TAN number to the online banking process, and that's it. This sometimes takes me less than a minute if I'm sending money to an account that I have pre-saved. In the US, online payment services such as Apple Pay, Venmo, or Facebook Pay are pretty big and they're used a lot, but normal online banking, as in transferring money from bank to bank without a third party in between, seems to be kind of rare. I have been paid through direct deposit in the US, but I never actually made a money transfer like that myself. It just doesn't seem to be a big option here. If you transfer money between family or friends, people here usually use checks, cash, or one of those apps. So it seems like the US is stuck between the future and the 50s, kinda. I mean, you can go to the store and pay with your phone, but then you'll pay your rent with a check or cash in person, which is what I've done for 3 out of 4 places I've lived at in the US. And you can see this in the cityscape too. In Germany, a lot of former bank branches are vacant nowadays because not a lot of people actually need to go to a bank counter anymore. Whereas here in the US, you don't only see a lot of banks, but you even see those check cashing places that looked totally vintage to me when I first saw them.
Really?
So the payment situation is definitely different in the US, and I didn't
it's
really
different.
expect that beforehand. I'd personally prefer sending money directly.
I need to go
That's
to the
different.
bank. I'm sorry, I need a physical branch. Because if something wrong with my account and the people on the phone not understanding, I need to go in and see a person.
That's the benefit of it right there. Yeah.
No, don't get rid of the bank. No, I need the person there. Because, you know, sometimes when you're on the phone, they're like, well, there's nothing more I can do.
Okay,
Bet.
pull up.
Pulling up.
pull up time.
Shoot. You gonna get my
to a
money.
bank rather
Facts.
than having a company like PayPal or Facebook involved and have them track all my payments and collect my data. But on the other hand, the whole check situation can be kind of fun too sometimes. I mean, I
Seeing
own my
it,
personal
holding it.
checkbook now, and writing a check definitely makes you feel powerful and like a grown-up.
Nah, I think it's just about it's about the business that you're with. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're on a job, your first time job, to give you a check until you set up your direct deposit, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing like real entrepreneurial business, then you will get a check at hand, stuff like that. But direct deposit is the way to go over here. Like everything
like
is
direct.
everything is wired.
Just send it to my bank. But the third party, I was going to say like Zelle and things like that. That's a third party. We don't have any like bank to bank transfer. Unless, like, okay, so if you are a part of another bank, you can go into just about any bank and with your credit card or debit card or bank card, whatever, and the foreign bank would process your money that way. That's possible, but like a bank to bank transfer, no.
I think I want to ask this question: do you guys have like those 7-day holds?
Oh, yeah.
Because I hate that. Like back in the day, you would deposit a check or something like that, and you can only take out a limit, or you can they gotta hold your money for a few days, and
No, babe. It's the ones where you get a check for a certain bank, and it's not your bank, and you go try to cash that check at that bank, and then that bank say, I gotta charge you because you're not a part of our bank. What?
yeah, we get charged for not being a part of people's banks. Yeah, a lot of
Bruh.
stuff. It's awkward. It's weird. So you know.
This is something that I never really noticed until I moved here. levels are counted differently in the
yeah,
US
we
than they
compare
are
food.
in Germany and
Gotta count
other
the basement.
countries in Europe and in Asia. In Germany, we have the ground level, Erdgeschoss, and then the first level above ground level is the first floor, and so on. And the first floor is called erster Stock or erstes Obergeschoss, first upper level. So I think that kind of makes sense. Americans, however, don't have to do all that thinking. For them, the ground level is simply the first floor, and then the floor above that is the second floor, and so on. So when an American says that they live on the third floor, it's really just the second floor for us Germans. A little confusing, but once you learn about it, it's really not that hard to switch. It's not really a secret that the US likes to use different scale units for a lot of things. Miles, inches, and feet instead of meters and kilometers, gallons instead of liters, Fahrenheit instead of Celsius, etc. But I think until you actually work or study here, you may not be aware of the fact that the paper format is different as well. Instead of the common A sizes, like the A4 or the A5 size, Americans like to use the letter or the legal format. So to show you this is an A4 sized paper, which we use in Germany, and then this is a letter sized paper that they use in the US. So the letter is a lot shorter than the A4, and it's a tiny bit wider, even though I'm not quite sure if you can see this. And I'm just asking myself, why? I personally haven't found a single advantage of why someone would prefer using this letter-sized paper format over the A system. On the contrary, it has a lot of downsides in my opinion. Every paper size here has different proportions, which can make life a little complicated sometimes. With the A system, you can print out PDFs or graphic designs on whatever format because every size has the same proportions. So at German universities, a lot of students print out their PDFs in a way that they fit 2 pages on one sheet of paper, or you can even fit 4 pages on one sheet of paper. And if you make a design for a poster, for example, you can simply just print out the same design in a smaller flyer format because it all has the same proportions. Not here. If you want to print 2 pages on one sheet of paper, they'll have to be scaled down so that you won't be able to use the full size of the paper. And if you design a poster and you want to print it out in a smaller format, you'll have to manually adjust the proportions first. Also, binders in the US have 3 instead of just 2 of those rings, which first of all doesn't make too much sense to me because the paper is actually shorter and we only use 2 rings for the larger or taller A4 paper in Germany. And then also it makes your life so much more difficult because hole punchers here are enormous. This is a normal hole puncher here in the US. Takes up a lot of space, not very handy, whereas this is a hole puncher in Germany. And a lot of students even have these super handy little binder hole punchers that
binders versus 3-ring binders.
Okay, that reminds me of law. That's what that reminded me of.
Okay.
But in college, I had like a smaller version of
the hole puncher.
Hole puncher.
Yeah, we have smaller versions.
Yeah. It takes more time, I guess, because you're doing it by yourself instead of just pressing it all down.
I don't know, man. I think that's just the differences. That's what it is. I don't see a problem with either one.
They holding the paper.
Yeah, as long as the paper getting held, I'm straight.
Yeah.
Put in their binder and that are really light. So this is something that really surprised me because I would have never guessed that you'd make paper sizes that don't have the same proportions, and to this day it sometimes really annoys me. So please change this, America.
Throwing away bottles and cans.
This is one that wasn't too much of a surprise for me, but it took me a long time to get used to it. And every time I come back from Germany, it feels weird again to do this. Throwing away bottles and cans. In Germany, we have a deposit system for plastic and glass bottles as well as for drink cans. For every empty bottle or can, you get 8 15 or 25 cents back when you return them to the store for recycling. So in Germany, I had never thrown an empty bottle or can into the regular trash can. Instead, you would collect them. A lot of people collect them underneath the sink and then return them. So throwing those items into a trash can, even if it's a recycling trash can, took me a lot of effort in the beginning. And it was also weird for me to see people squeeze cans or plastic bottles together before throwing them out. Because if you do that in Germany, the return machine won't be able to read the barcode anymore and you'll lose your money. And even normal glass like pickle or jelly jars don't go into the normal trash.
We would take our bottles, our like Coke cans, and we would smash it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Stuff it in the bag, and then we'll just ship it off like that.
With recycling, yeah, that's like.
But that makes sense. You can't read the barcode on it.
Because they actually getting money from a machine.
Yeah.
We were getting money from a person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it is today. Yeah,
I wonder.
Because it used to be the laundromat down the street when I was younger who used to collect it. But like now the stores are collecting, but it's the recycle trash can or recycle like bags where they reuse the stuff. Yeah.
We got the trash can, paper.
Yeah, and
recycle.
Yeah.
That's about it. But I don't think we take it as serious as they do.
Yeah, it's not as enforced. Not even close.
Not even close.
It's like on your own will.
Yeah.
Now our elders will tell us something. They'll be like, "You're not gonna recycle that." Like, no, because y'all didn't teach us to.
It wasn't enforced.
But like, so I gotta pedal back. They didn't teach us to, but they did say, let's save these cans and y'all go get y'all like $1 to go to the store just by turning it in. They'll say things like that, but it wasn't like a everyday life thing.
It was a form of work for us.
Yeah. It
was like getting out there and actually working, making a little hustle for yourself.
Yeah, that's what it was.
In Germany, instead, we collect the used glass and bring it to particular containers in the neighborhood.
Groceries.
And finally, there are a few minor things at the grocery store that are different in the US and in Germany.
Whole video.
Milk has different percentages, for example. Who would have guessed? In Germany, you can buy milk with 1.5% of fat or 3.5%. Here in the US, it's 1%, 2%. Then there's whole milk, which has about 3.3%, or there's skim milk, which is fat-free. And of course, it comes in different packaging, the most common being a gallon or a half gallon in a plastic container, such as this. This is a half gallon, and this is 1%, by the way. In Germany, milk goes by the liter, and it usually comes in Tetra packs. Then cheese here is often pretty much shrink wrapped, like, for example, sliced cheese, looks like this, or even mozzarella, like this, which in Germany usually comes in water or some kind of liquid. Eggs come in dozens instead of 10 packs like they do in Germany, and the yolk.
I'm trying to process that. That's like butter.
Are y'all making it yourself?
Wait, what's going on here? I'm confused. Liquid cheese? We got liquid cheese? I gotta go do some research. Because we probably have it, I just never...
I'm not gonna get no liquid cheese.
I never got no liquid cheese before, bro. Like,
we make a lot of things from scratch. I mean, cheese is not one of the things we make from scratch. But like, if we wanted like a liquid, macaroni and cheese or something like that, we make that from scratch. But is it kind of like the eggs? How y'all don't put the eggs in the refrigerator?
I don't know. See, that was
I don't know, baby. We were perplexed.
Liquid cheese.
Y'all gotta let us know about that.
So how you use a liquid cheese? Like you just...
I don't know. Why are you asking me? I don't know.
Like I'm trying to see what part of the prepping do you use the liquid cheese if you're cooking a cheesy style dish? Like
what about grilled cheese? Y'all have grilled cheese, like sliced cheese.
Grilled cheese, yeah.
Cause how I go from wet.
Then they just wouldn't use the wet cheese; they use another form of cheese.
But she said the cheese is in the liquid.
That's liquid form. What would you use liquid form cheese for? I'm pretty sure it's pretty simple, but we need to hear it because we don't use liquid cheese.
We over here trying to figure it out. We don't know. We don't know.
Milk comes in slightly different colors. In the US it's a little bit more yellow, and in Germany it's more orange. And I've read that farms apparently do this on purpose because of the different consumer preferences, which I'm not sure if that's true. I mean, I personally don't really care what kind of color it has. I mean, unless it has like a really weird, unhealthy looking color, but if it's like normal looking, I'll eat it either way. But anyways, I don't know if that's true. So those were my 7 everyday differences that surprised me in the US.
It's not bad, man. A few of them we knew already. The recycling, you know, things of that nature. Liquid cheese was different. Definitely different.
Very different. I'm going to have to tell us about that one.
Now, if y'all need us to cook a dish on our other channel that requires liquid cheese, then we're going to have to send C to the store to go find it, because...
I'm not going to get no liquid cheese. That don't...
If it has liquid cheese on there, like... Okay, we'll just use our regular cheese. We'll melt it down. Now we got liquid cheese.
I'm going to Google what liquid cheese looks like now. Because...
I'm just trying to keep it here with us. Because they got liquid cheese, so just want to make it seem as real as possible, you know?
Y'all got to let us know about this one, because baby... Liquid cheese.
Ooh, if it comes in bulk, then you're going to really like it, huh?
No.
I'm picking at this point.
No.
I'm very much picking.
We go from picking on them to you picking on me.
Because, I mean, when it comes to cooking, she know what she needs. And, yeah, she was like, liquid cheese, that's in the recipe?
I don't know.
I don't know about that. I'm going to just use the cheese I use.
Right.
Because that's how it goes.
You know, I'm going to substitute a recipe in a minute. If it don't sound right to me. But anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Like this video, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. We have enabled our super thanks if you like to support the channel that way, as well as our reaction request form is in our description box below. We'll see you soon. Peace.